Hey, Ben here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to feel lighter instantaneously. Well, maybe in about 2 minutes. So, you might have realized that as we're going through the day, by the end of the day, we can start to accumulate a lot of tension in the shoulders, neck, and jaw. And if we go through several stressful days or weeks or months, as we sometimes do, we can actually start to feel physically heavier in our bodies, right? And this is because our muscles start subtly tensing up, and that tension needs to somehow be released. So in this video, I'm going to share a few follow-along exercises. If you're standing, or if you want to get standing, that's a great way to do these. But if you're seated as well, you can adapt the exercises to do it as you are. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to empty the arms. A lot of times our arms feel like we're just carrying a heavy load. And one of the things that I find most interesting about the human body and the human being is that form really follows function, meaning that when we feel emotionally burdened or weighed down, that actually feels like we're actually carrying something. So, interestingly enough, when we physically go through the motions of dropping those weights or putting something down, that also feeds back to our brain and to our limbic system that we are actually unloading ourselves of that burden of weight that so many of us feel like we're just carrying around to no end. So the first one, if you're seated, you could just start slowly shaking your hands out. If you're standing, or if at a later time you want to try this standing, what I'd recommend is start adding a little bend in the knees. This gives your hands a little bit of momentum. And just bring them up and let them fall. Bring them up and let them fall. And then what we can start to do is start to bring them down a little more forcefully. So we get a bit of a swing here. Bring them down more forcefully, emptying the arms. Empty the arms, and shake it out. Okay, in the next one, we're going to empty and unload the shoulders. So to do this, let's start by just getting a little bit of movement going in the shoulders. We'll start a little bit of rotations, back, a little bit of rotation moving forward. And then here, using our hands as anchors, we're going to make fists. And this is one of my favorite ones. It's sort of interesting. What you can do is you can start to pump your hands, and this will actually send a bit of vibration, pulling your shoulders down. So again, this works if you're standing, but if you're sitting, it works just as well. You can start to pump your hands a little bit, different angles. You'll see even the face is shaking. You start to feel those muscles in your back and shoulders loosening up. And then finally, give yourself a little bounce. Always good to end with shaking out the fingertips. Exhale and release those weights that you've been carrying. Lastly, we're going to go down to the feet. And for this one, we're just going to pick up one foot at a time. If you're sitting, this works well. If you're standing, maybe if you need to balance on something, hold on to the back of a chair, but just simply extend your leg out to the side and kick that foot out. Kind of like you'd see a dog do, right? Extend that leg out to the side, kick it out. Come back to the center. Find your feet at hip width apart. And once more, let's go into that little bounce. Shaking everything out. And before you get settled back to center, what I like to do is just kind of wiggle from side to side. When you wiggle, it's sort of realigning your system, getting a little bit of movement into the spine, and allowing your nervous system to settle at this new baseline of less stress. So, how do you feel? If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more follow-along exercises, explanations, and how you can use neuroplasticity to reclaim your health by retraining your brain, subscribe to our channel and also check out our newsletter down below for exclusive tips and tricks.